Can you share some of your main insights that you discussed during the panel?
I think the main insight is that although we are definitely seeing growth in sustainable aviation production, we all need to understand that this growth is coming from such a low level that we must conclude that the market is still in its very early infancy, yeah, and that everything is still left to be created. The production facilities, the administrative infrastructure around this, how we can all agree on hopefully using the same information for certifications and approvals. And yes, I could go on. All of that still has to be built, and we would, of course, love everybody, all the countries, to prioritize that development, because we need to be able to do this in 26 years.
You've mentioned environmental sustainability, but just as important is financial sustainability. What measures are you putting in place to ensure this?
Well, I mean, so first of all, I have to applaud the airlines who have managed to come back out of the depth of the COVID crisis, where the losses, the industry lost perhaps 140 billion in 2020, right? So that the industry is profitable again is an amazing achievement. But the profit margins remain very slim for our industry. Compared to like utilities, yeah, we're at the lower end of the industry ranking of profit margins. And then at the top end we have, like the oil producers and the banks. And it is indeed their participation that is so sorely needed in us being able to have access to the sustainable aviation fuel that we need to be able to decarbonize. So I think that's that stark contrast, that although we're back to profitability but still at the very low end in a global comparison, and that we're waiting for the guys with the big profit margins to help make this sustainable aviation fuel market a reality.
Another important discussion point was mandates and incentives. Would you mind elaborating a bit for our viewers on that point?
Yes, I mean, there's a lot of economic literature on how to create new markets, and usually that literature suggests that you start with creating the new technologies, and you sort of have a tech push in your new market, and then you try to bring in the demand once you have the product. Now, in terms of sustainable aviation fuel, the policy is often the opposite, that there's an initial focus on creating the demand, which makes things worse for airlines, because if you have demand of a scarce product, what happens to the price of that product? Economics 101, it goes up. So this is not a helpful situation for airlines who already have these slim profit margins, that we will pay an additional premium on our sustainable aviation fuel because the sequencing of policies is not the right one. That's very unfortunate.
And lastly, it's the 80th IATA this year here in Dubai. What are you looking forward to?
Well, I mean, I think that's just absolutely incredible, right? That, that civil aviation was created during sort of the Second World War, right? And is therefore a child of that era. And the people who created civil aviation, they had this vision for how necessary this industry is for peace and prosperity for all. And I hope that this anniversary can remind people of those values, and I think that rarely has the need for reminding people of that perhaps been as great as it is now.
Thank you so much for your time, and all the best for the rest of the show.
I thank you. I thank you so much.